how was your give y'all a minute to come in, but how was y'all Thanksgiving, all that, your holidays and stuff? But man, we had false flag after false flag after false flag, and the problem is, ain't nobody talking about it. All the evidence is there, but they ain't trying to really talk about it because it's not a good look. It's not a good look that false flags are happening. This is supposed to be a deep state free administration. So if we having false flags, why is the deep state still alive and kicking? It seems like it's more false flags too. So what I say about false flags, I'm talking about the shooting in Washington D.C. A lot of people look at it as a wild Afghan immigrant that came in and wanted to shoot up the National Guard. But we're hearing all sides of the stories, and it's not coming up to be that. For some reason, we're only hearing that he's some Afghan refugee that came in under Biden, but they're not telling us that he was CIA. But I guess the director of CIA did say that, but they swept that under the rug real quick. He was CIA in Afghanistan. He was doing dirt in Afghanistan. If he would have stayed in Afghanistan, they would have put the boy in the dirt. He was a demon in Afghanistan. He was working for the CIA. He was doing evil demon stuff, doing all the dirty work the CIA didn't want to do. They recruited him at 15 years old. Your boy, he's a child. They manipulated him. They brainwashed him. He's a killer. And then when someone kills somebody, they want to trip like he ain't a killer, but we trained him to be a killer. He wasn't. The Taliban didn't train him to be a killer. Afghanistan didn't train him to be a killer. No, the CIA trained him to be a killer at 15 years old. 15 years old. So ain't no excuse, but this is where I want to get to. He was a killer. He wasn't a thinker, right? So I don't think he's running across the globe, running across the motherfucking country to mop up a couple National Guardsmen and women. I don't think so. He could have stayed where he was at. That's what I'm saying. He went to D.C. for a reason. He went to D.C. to make a point. He may have been told to go to D.C. to make a point. Yeah, we don't know that, but we know he was CIA. And those tentacles don't just disconnect when you leave CIA. You got secrets, you know stories, you know stuff, you know the things the CIA told you to tell you. The tentacles are still connected, and you really don't have much pull when it comes down to it. So it's like selling your soul to the devil. Once you sell your soul to the devil, your soul is owned by the devil. And unfortunately, the CIA plays that same role to people. They blackmail them. They work on them like they do them like Epstein. You know what I mean? They was working with Epstein likely. You know, so it's like my man was struggling with his mental health. Clearly, he's been a killer since he was 15. I'm sure he was struggling. And then he get a phone call, you know, or he gets somebody, who knows? We don't know the context, but we know almost for a fact that this is a false flag because of all the circumstantial information. The fact that him being CIA holds a lot of weight. The fact that he was just granted asylum this year, like they had plans for him. The fact that he came up in Google searches in Washington days prior to the assault. Some people would say he was searching himself, but he drove across the country. He was in Washington. He couldn't have searched himself. He was in Washington when the searches were happening. And to put the cherry on top, even when the National Guardswoman that got killed, her name was searched days before this in Israel. So I don't know why. I don't think Israel's involved, but I will tell you that our Department of Homeland Security literally was set up in Israel. They exposed them on Twitter. Their location was in Israel. They were posting from Israel. Our Department of Homeland Security was posting on X from Israel. Like that was their location. Like they've been posting from there. I don't know why. I don't know why our DHS is posting is in Israel in the first place. It's the Department of Homeland Security, where the home people are. So, you know, it gets a little convoluted when you look at the Google searches. You start to think like, why are they searching for these people's name? How do they know these people's name? Like, who's the all-seeing eye over here? Because these guys have been searched, and these are nobodies apparently. Like, who's searching these guys' names? Who's searching this National Guardswoman's name that passed away, R.I.P.? And, you know, they talked to her boyfriend too, and it didn't sound like she was too enthusiastic about the job. So, which even puts more into question as soon as I tell you, actually, why were they even out there? It's like a setup. So, they were assigned, I guess they were deputized, but they weren't deputized. Either way, they can't hold weapons. They can't do anything. They're just... people spit on them, and they don't have no authority to do anything. So this is the national that were shot up. So apparently, you know, the word on the street, which has not been vetted yet, but we know a lot of information that's not came out. Word on the street, there was some sort of confrontation, and this kind of fits in with the fact that they had no power to stop anything, right? So word on the street is there was some sort of confrontation with the National Guards, and Mr. Afghan CIA stepped in. He stepped in to try to save the day, and apparently there was some friendly fire. This is not vetted, but this is a word on the street from a witness that said the facts will come out sooner or later. You can believe it or not. A lot of things that pointed to believing this was the fact that the suspect was stripped naked before he was arrested. And the eyewitness alleged that the suspect was in some sort of uniform, maybe an ICE uniform or some kind of some uniform, right? So it was alleged that he was in some sort of uniform. It was friendly fire. He didn't mean to shoot the National Guardsmen. He was trying to shoot the protesters or the whatever causing the confrontation. And as soon as that happened, he was stripped naked and put under arrest. Some say that. I heard a story that he stripped naked and to avoid being seen by the police and act like a crazy homeless man, and that doesn't make sense because homeless people don't really stick out, but naked homeless people stick out a lot. So moving forward to just we have another incident which we not too much more, but it was a bomb threat, I believe. Not even an actual bomb. So this is all a play for the deep state again. They got caught with their hands in the cookie jar with their CIA guy. Worked for the USA. Was trained by the USA. Trained to kill by the USA. Then he went and killed some people in the USA. So it doesn't look too good for our deep state. So they want to clean it up. So they call in their bomb threat guy, which didn't blow nothing up. He didn't blow nothing up. He just he posted something online saying that he was gonna make a bomb and this is how he's gonna do it. I believe on TikTok. It's really just social media and fun and you know, someone joking around, probably not wisely though. So you gotta look at it like that. But this smells stench like deep state. It smells like a cover up. It smells like a double tap on the Afghan theory, the Afghan narrative that the Afghans are terrorists. So it's a double tap, and if people think that nostalgically they're gonna believe it, but we've learned too much about 9/11. No one faults the Afghanis for 9/11. I mean, no one is faulting Afghanistan for 9/11. I don't know. Like, we could do a poll of how many people blame Afghanistan for 9/11 with all the facts we have on the table. The Saudis, the deep state, Building 7. Like, we don't know what's going on. But we definitely know it's not the Afghanistan warriors. We know that the Taliban, we know that Iraq was just a play. It was all a play from 9/11. It was planned prior to, especially Iraq Iraq had nothing to do with 9/11. Iraq was for Israel. That's why people blame Israel for the 9, because they said there's evidence about that Israel was involved, as far as just how they reacted. And a lot of times that's kind of how people tell on themselves. But yeah, it's crazy out there. People talking about MAGA is falling apart. MAGA is broken, what I mean? There's a lot of argument on that because Trump still holds a high approval rating amongst the MAGA people. But I have a idea why that's happening. I believe that Trump is only left with his most diehard MAGA supporters right now. MAGA wasn't a group of diehard fans. They were just a group of people who wanted change. They wanted to see the establishment taught a lesson, right? And they wanted to see the establishment go to jail. We wanted to see some consequences for the establishment, right? So if people ain't seeing those consequences for the establishment parties, then guess what? We're gonna leave that bandwagon, and that's what you see happening with MAGA right now. Trump ain't holding his word up. He became a Zionist. He went to Iran for the Zionists. He helped destroy Gaza for the Zionists. He handed Gaza to the Zionists. America what? America who? Like who? Like what are you doing, bro? Like so, and no one believes him. The war with Venezuela, anything Trump is doing, no one supports it. Anything he's doing, let me say what he's doing, okay? Anything that he's doing, because a lot of things he's saying, people support. But we've noticed that Trump isn't doing the things that he's saying. So that's the reason why the Trump support, the MAGA support is just falling through the cracks. Because he's not doing what he's saying. He's doing things that people don't want. He's doing things that he never said he was going to do. And he's not doing the things that he said he was going to do. So a lot of people are worrying, like, did we elect Bush 2.0? People are blaming Susie Wiles for the Zionists and the Bush neocon stuff. People are blaming Pam Bondi for not locking up elites. Like, Democrats want Democrats locked up. For some reason, Republicans have been so united that they think that Democrats support Democrats. But it's not the truth. We don't support Democrats. Democrats don't like the current Democrats. They're all garbage. Like, put them in jail. Like, teach them a lesson. Let us get some real ones in there. You know what I mean? Put Nancy Pelosi in jail. Put Adam Schiff in jail. Put all of them in jail. Put, what's his name, from South Carolina. Put all of them in jail. Bernie could stay out of jail. He's been playing the line pretty good. I don't know if Bernie's as fraudulent as the other politicians, but man, if you could lock up anybody who's broken the law as far as a politician-wise, no one's going to be mad. No one's going to be mad if Trump were to lock up Democrats. No one's mad if Trump were to lock up James Comey. No one's mad if Trump were to lock up Letitia James. Letitia James ran on locking up Trump. You don't think that he's going to want to put her in jail? And it's kind of stupid that she did that, thinking that he wasn't going to win power, but he won his power. And, she ran on that and she tried to lock him up. It sounds like it's criminal. Put her in jail. Like, I don't get why Republicans think Democrats don't care if Republicans are in jail. I mean, Democrats are in jail. We don't care if Democrats are in jail. We want Democrats and Republicans to go to jail. Yeah, we care if you lock up all Democrats, just like Republicans cared when Democrats locked up all Republicans. We do care, but hey, if both sides are locking up, if Republicans are locking up Democrats and Democrats are locking up Republicans, guess what? All the crooks are in jail. We don't care no more. You know what I mean? Stop pardoning them, and that's the problem right now. They lock up their enemies and pardon their buddies, and no one really. I mean, I guess if they stayed and put them in jail, you go fine with that. But let them serve some time in jail, because guess what? The people who serve time in jail, we don't hear from them no more. We don't hear from Peter Navarro. Was Bannon in jail? We hear from Bannon, but Bannon worried about going back to jail. He not even trying to stay out of jail. So Robert Flynn or whatever's Flynn, we ain't heard from Flynn. I ain't heard from Flynn since he been in jail. Cohen, did Cohen go to jail? I don't know, but he sound like he been in jail. Like a lot of these guys, as soon as the heat get on them, they shut the fuck up, and that's what we want. You see, when Trump got in charge, Nancy Pelosi real quiet. real quiet, right? Put her ass in jail. She deserves it. Put Nancy Pelosi ass in jail. She deserves it. She's been asking for it. You know what I mean? She wants to go to jail. Adam Schiff, you know what I mean? Like, you open up a case. We know Adam Schiff's a crook. Y'all got all the evidence on him. He stole the Democratic seat in the Senate. Like, they're manipulating the elections so he can win. It's all a play. Adam Schiff, the reasons, like, they're playing with the California Senate seat. They played with it for 2-3 years. They wouldn't allow Barbara Boxer to get the seat, or I believe that was Barbara Boxer's, not Barbara Boxer, not the mayor, not Bass, but the other girl. Oh my gosh, I forgot her name. But y'all know who I'm talking about, from the mayor, the representative from Oakland area. Yeah, she was trying to get the Senate seat. They didn't want her to get it because they wanted it to go to Adam Schiff. So they signed someone that's not even from California. Someone from Maryland gave her the Senate seat. She don't even live in California. You know, just to hold it for Adam. And we all know the play. It's crooks. They're crooks. They don't care about us. They're not caring about, like, what we want. So lock them up. Lock them all up. But Trump ain't doing that. Trump's not going to lock them up because he's not going to lock them up. It's all talk. And people start to realize that. And that's why the MAGA base is shrunk so small. Like, when you lose Marjorie Taylor Greene, you know you got a problem. Because she's like diehard #1. And then you got to realize the people who are MAGA right now, they're not MAGA. They're the other stuff you're doing. Because when you stop doing the other stuff you're doing, you'll realize these quote-unquote MAGA people that are with you right now, when you disown Israel, they're going to be gone. When you say, you know what, let's leave Iran alone, they're going to be gone. When you say, hey, you know what, let's stop doing Bitcoin, they're going to be gone. We say, you know what, AI is actually bad for the American people, they're going to be gone. Like, these people aren't MAGA. You're losing your true MAGA base. And me not being a MAGA person, but actually kind of agreeing with some of the policies that MAGA has, like, I feel for Trump. Trump is done. Like, Trump is going to go down in the history books. It's probably, unless something changes, one of the worst presidents. Like, I thought Biden was bad. But Trump is actively being bad. See, Biden was ignorantly bad. He was ignoring problems. He was allowing his staff to run everything. But Trump is actively bad. Whether he's doing it or not, he is playing a role. He's the one calling the shots. And it's bad. Pete Hegseth, the double tap on the Venezuela ships. What the fuck? Like, Pete Hegseth double tapped a Venezuela cocaine boat that we don't even know had cocaine on it. So the story is, they did what they did. They bombed the boat, left it in shambles, and apparently, to look at the damage, there was a drone that flew over, and they noticed 2 survivors climbing onto, like, shipwreck stuff, just barely surviving. Their ship got blown up. They're in the middle of the Caribbean Sea, right? The Army, the Navy, then double taps because they felt like they needed to follow Pete Hegseth's order, which was to kill everybody. If Pete Hegseth orders you to kill everybody and you bomb a ship and there's 2 people survive and your order is to kill everybody, and you're not worried about illegal orders, and you're not worried about going to jail, because what you've been told is every order is a legal order if given by me. You know, that's what Pete Hegseth said. That's what Donald Trump said. I don't give illegal orders, right? So if I tell you to kill everybody, because if I say it's not illegal, it's not illegal, and guess what? I'm a part of your ass. So that's the problem with Pete Hegseth. Another problem with Pete Hegseth is Trump ain't got his back. So when the shit hits the fan and the press is asking Trump about the double tap, Trump's like, oh, that didn't happen. And guess what? That's the easiest thing to disprove or prove. So if it didn't happen, it's going to be the easiest thing to prove. If it did happen, it's going to be the easiest thing to disprove. So Trump said, Pete told me it didn't happen. Pete said he didn't order it. Pete didn't do it. But I didn't know nothing about it. I didn't know nothing about that. But Pete said Pete told us that he didn't do it, so he didn't order it. Pete said he didn't say kill everybody. Pete said he didn't want to kill the narco terrorist that he tweeted 7 hours after the news story came out. Pete did not say that, but he did. We saw it. Pete even tweeted it after the fact, just to try to like rub it in the media's face like shit wasn't gonna hit the fan. It hit the fan, Pete. And guess what? Trump ain't got your back, Pete. And guess what? If there's a video, an audio, an email of you saying kill everybody, and that's the order you were giving to your soldiers, and they followed your orders, they all going to jail. And guess what? You going to jail too, Pete. You're going to go to jail too. You may get pardoned, but hey, if you go to jail now, at least you spend some time in there, because I don't see Trump trying to pardon you right away. Because that'll ruin the midterms for the Republicans. It'll kill the whole game. And guess what? Then Trump gets impeached. Because it's a cap line, right? It's a thin line between love and hate right now. If Trump loses the House and any kind of gains in the Senate, if the Democrats make any kind of gains where they can flip a few senators based on the morality that Trump offers, it's going to be a problem for Trump. He's going to get impeached. And, you know, he doesn't want to deal with this. Like, he couldn't get nothing done. If he loses the House, it's over for him. His legislative, his mandate, everything that he banked on is done as soon as he loses the House. So Trump, he's not going to stand by Pete Hegseth on this one. He'll stand by the lies until the lies are lies, right? And we know by Occam's razor, with all things being created equal, the simplest solution is the best solution, right? It was the simplest solution that Pete Hegseth, whatever his name is, he ordered the military people to kill everybody, which led to the military killing everybody, right? So it's not a 1 + 1 = 3 thing. It's a 1 + 1 = 2. It's simple. Pete Hegseth is a war criminal. And our media's on his ass. He thought he had Netanyahu Teflon bullet vest or something like that. He thought he had protection. He doesn't, though. He doesn't, because he's an American. We don't have those protections that we offer other countries when they do things wrong. We allow them to get off because you criticize fat generals, which is okay, but hey, you know what? They're generals. All generals are fat. They don't do shit. You know what I mean? Why don't you go put in some work? You know what I mean? Let's see you out there. I want to see you out there. You said you've been there. Let's see you. You talk a big talk, you know what I mean? But all you do is put in order. You get people in trouble now. You finna get some people going to jail. You may go to jail yourself, Pete. What's going on with you? So I believe these are the conversations that's being had behind the scenes, right? So I don't know who's gonna prosecute Pete Hegseth or what jurisdiction, who has jurisdiction over the DOJ. Is it like they have military tribunal? I don't know. Like, is it the Supreme Court? I don't know. But I'll tell you one thing: Congress is on his ass, and as many stones as they flip over on Pete Hegseth, it's gonna be that much more pressure for him to resign, or for Donald Trump to send him home, or maybe even open an investigation on him and prosecute him, depending on how bad it is. But yeah, we got stories today, man. But we're gonna come back. We're gonna come back and do this another time. Like, subscribe, follow, all that. Y'all stay up.